What is good, y'all? This is Ahead of the Spread presented by Wager Talk, where we check out the open numbers, notable line movements, and discuss key matchups and angles for the next day. So you have an early edge for tomorrow's games. I'm Ronald Kabang and the one and only Skee Prophet here with me to co host the show. Before we get into the numbers of or the lines and all that stuff, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We do this for every Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we try to help you guys out and get ahead of the numbers, and that's why we call it ahead of the spread. But Ski, before we get into those the tomorrow's games, only 4 games on the slate. We like these small slates. But how'd you do today?
I only ended up betting Lakers team total over 123.5. And that was the winner last I saw. I stopped watching because it was a blowout, but
Yeah, yeah.
it went over the team total. So nice profitable day.
Yes, sir. I had a profitable day as well. I went 4-1. I did have luck on my side. I had the Kings and Mavs over, and luckily it went to OT. My only loss today was Miami. I tried to back. We've been back in that Boston after a win fade spot. So
I couldn't do it without
yeah, that
Hero.
struggle with our hero. Yeah,
I
I
couldn't
was
do it.
I took it too early, and
Yeah.
that sometimes that happens. But got the win with Spurs Wizards over. Got the Hawks team total over, and then uh, yeah, Kings and Dallas over. So, yeah, hopefully we continue our winning ways. Ski, let's get into tomorrow's slate. I'll share the screen. Um, where is that? There you go. All right, so we got Odds Logic right here. This is our odds page that we use. We have it's customizable with injuries, alerts, and you could set up all of the books that you want to see in your view here. So if you are interested in this, we have a link in the description below the video. Also, themoneybar.com is what we use for stats, insights, and trends as well. As well as killersports.com. Those links are also in the description. So if you go through the show and you like what we do, you have an opportunity to do it yourself too. So first game up on the board, we had the Raptors and the Sixers. The Sixers open up as 7.5. Total open up at 225.5. This is steaming up to -9 now for the Sixers, and 8.5s at other books as well. The total has gone up to 226.5 as the highest at FanDuel, but you can still get 225.5 at BetMGM. If we go to the injuries, we'll go to Toronto first. We got Pirtle out, Barrett is out, and Ingram is out. If we go to Philadelphia, Lowry out, Embiid and Gordon questionable. So we go to moneyballer.com. We have first game of back to back for the Raptors. Same for the Sixers. Also in season revenge and a bounce back spot. They did lose as favorites to the Bucks, 135, 127, a couple nights ago. Ski, what are your thoughts on this one?
Um, it's very hard for me to lay with the 76ers.
Mhm.
That's my initial thought. But more than that, I mean, neither one of these teams have been playing very fast. But at the same time, they're not playing defense. So it just the defense is so bad, it's letting these teams get up and over. I think they're both 4-1 to the over their last 5 games and clearing really 230, it looks like in those games. So
Mhm.
my first thought is, half a point move to the over. I think it should continue to go that way.
Yeah, there's one thing. I mean, you mentioned the Sixers and their spot at home as home favorites. You can see here on Killer Sports, 1-10 ATS, 6-5 straight up. Not a great spot here for the Sixers when they're at home as home favorites. And then we talked about that revenge angle as one of the situational notes. But if you look at them in the revenge angle this season, just five. So yeah, revenge angle this season, 5-11 straight up, 7-8-1 ATS. Not the best spot in that revenge angle that we typically want to back as home favorites. The other thing too, Raptors they kind of been covering machines, right? 10 out of the last 14 they've covered. If you look at the last 10 games, we'll go back to themoneybar.com right here. The last 10 games, a couple of things that I looked at. Um, Fast break points here. The Raptors top 10 in fast break points. The Sixers allow a lot of fast break points, and if you look at it, they're allowing that many points in the fast break, even though their pace of play is super slow. And then also the free throw rate. Raptors get to the line at a high rate. Sixers send opponents to the line at a high rate too. So a couple of ways. I mean, the one way that I was looking at was the Raptors plus the points. So obviously, I don't agree with the line movement there. Let's go to game two. We got the Knicks open up at -1, and then the total at 234.5. This has steamed up all the way to 239.5. You can still get a 239, which is the lowest here at Caesars. From a side perspective, mostly -1s across the board. BetMGM at -1.5. If we go to the injury report, we'll go to New York first. Anunoby is questionable. Mitchell Robinson continues to be out. If we go to Indiana, I think it was Turner. Yeah, Turner is questionable. Jackson continues to be out. If we go to situational notes here, first game of back to back again for both teams here. Double digit in season revenge for the Knicks. Both teams well rested. And bounce back spot for the Pacers. They did lose to the Lakers as favorites there a few nights ago. Skee, what are your thoughts here on this one?
This game is very tough for me. Without OG, I hardly ever really want to look towards the Knicks. I feel like
Mm.
both of these teams have kind of been inconsistent as far as just playing well. So I'll say I do trust the Knicks offense more than I trust the Pacers right now. Um, no OG does hurt their defense. I still trust them to be better at rebounding. So if I can get those two things, maybe I'll still lean towards the Knicks to get the win on the road, but not one I feel very strong about.
So over here, so he agrees with no defense in the offense of the New York Knicks. One way that I was looking at this one, Ski, was the team total over on the Knicks side. If you look at both of their games, the Knicks scored 121 and 123, and they split the season series, but they were still able to put up points there. Um, One thing that I could think of here is their pace of play. You can see 97.1, 94.2. That's closer to the Knicks' pace of play, and they still were able to put up those types of numbers against the Pacers. And one thing that I looked at here, if you look at the Pacers, when they're the dog, their opponents are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 13 and 8 to their team total over. So they do tend to give up points in that situation. So I think in this spot here, regardless of who wins or covers, I would probably look towards the Knicks team total over. Last 10 games, too, if you go to last 10 games, you could see offensive efficiency fifth right there. And then pace of play towards this Pacer side. Even if their defensive rating does look a little bit better last 10 games, I still think that I think the Knicks should be able to put up the points to get that team total over. I don't know what the number is. I'll check it right now. Do you have the number actually, Ski? Team total for the Knicks?
Mm, I mean, I can pull it up.
Oh,
My
I see
bad.
right. Then it's gone up to it opened up at 117 and a half, up to 120, 120 and a half too. So that's cutting it close. But I still lean in that direction. Let's go to game three. Only 4 games on the board, Ski. We'll be done pretty quick here. Pistons and the Bulls. Pistons open up at 3.5. This is up to 5.5, the highest I see at BetMGM. You could still get a 4.5 at one of the PPHs, and then -5 mostly across the board. The total opened up at 237. This has come up to 239 at Circa, 238 at Pinnacle, and then the rest are 238.5. From an injury perspective, we go Pistons. Just Jaden Ivey continues to be out. And then on the Bulls side, Lonzo Ball is out. Torrey Craig continues to be out. From situational notes, Pistons and Bulls play each other again tomorrow. First game of back to back, and they play the same matchup. In season revenge here for the Bulls. Also, obviously, they are the more rested team. They got 2 days of rest compared to one for the Pistons. Um, what are your thoughts here, Ski? I mean, is this one that you kind of wait to see what happens today and then go the opposite tomorrow, or is just one is the Detroit defense that big of a gap for the Bulls here?
I think I agree with the total going up. I mean, we've seen three of the last four Bulls games reach 240 plus. Both of these teams like to play up tempo, top 10 in pace last five games. And neither one of them, in my opinion, trustworthy consistently on the defensive end. So over is the first
Hmm.
thought for me here. I don't really love the idea of laying with Detroit. I think I would prefer to just put my money on Cade Cunningham if that's the case. So either the over for the game or just bet on Cade.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, looking at the last 10 games, pace of play second for the Pistons, seventh for the Bulls. Only reason why I would lean towards the Pistons is just because of that gap in the defensive rating. Eighth for the Pistons, 22nd here for the Bulls, and you can see all these the advantages that the Pistons have in the scoring perspective. And the Bulls, they don't. I mean, they obviously don't. Their defense is struggling. They don't turn the ball over at a high rate. So those were the reasons why I would lean towards the Pistons. But I do agree with the over as well. Let's go to the last game on the board, Ski. We got the Grizzlies and the Suns. This one moved a ton, crazy amount of on the total. Um, Memphis opened up at -2.5. You could see up to 5 here at circa. You could still get some fours. For the most part, Bet Online, FanDuel, and some of the PPHs. Total, this is where it moved a lot. 237.5 up to 244. Highest I see is 245 here at Bet Online, 243.5 still available at FanDuel. Um, if we go to the injuries, Bagley and Gigi Jackson continue to be out for the Grizzlies. And then on the Phoenix side, this is where I think the total has moved up is because KD is available, Grayson Allen is available, Beal is out, and then Micic is questionable. Cody Martin will be out for a little bit too. From a situational notes perspective, first game of back to back again for both teams. Memphis has the Clippers, Phoenix has the Rockets. Um, in season revenge for the Suns as well. This one in their game, the first game that they faced each other earlier this season, Ski 112, 117. Um, you can see the pace of play was super slow. They didn't have John Morant, and their offense really wasn't clicking at that time, but they were still able to win and put up 229. To me, I think the pace is going to be higher. The Grizzlies' offensive efficiency, especially the last 10 games, number one in offensive rating and pace of play, fourth. I would look towards the over in this one, Ski. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I was thinking Grizzlies
I
team
know it's moved a
total
lot
over,
though.
but it's already went from 120 to 124 and a half. So I don't love the idea of that, but still, we know the Grizzlies are going to push the
Hmm.
pace. This Suns defense has just been so abysmal, like 122, 127, 140. Like they're giving up 120 plus every single night. So I do think Memphis will be able to score. Um, yeah, over is the only way I can look in this one. I want to still want to say Grizzlies team total, just because I
Um,
do trust the Grizzlies defense more than the Suns. So those are Grizz team total, I guess, if I still have to play right now.
yeah. One thing that I saw with this game here, specifically on the Sun side when I was capping it, I saw the Suns were on the second leg of back-to-back games before this one, and then they're on the first leg of back-to-back games. So the whole rest factor there, real quick, I wanted to look at that type of situation because I know it's not a common thing. So I went back, what I think it was 2019, greater than equal 2019, and then P rest equals 0 and rest equals 0. So this is the situation that the Suns are in right now. I mean tomorrow against the Grizzlies. As a home dog in this situation, coming off a second of a back to back and on a first of back to back, 12, 25, and 1 ATS. It's one of those, we talk about favorites for a reason, but this could be one of those that where a team is a dog for a reason. So I would look towards the Grizzlies, and I think you were kind of talking about the Grizzlies, maybe team total over or something too, or something like in that situation. So it kind of all plays together because I was kind of looking towards the over. It's just the number has dramatically shifted. But one more thing to mention, just in case people are still wanting that over, if you look at the Grizzlies this season, and on the first shit on the first leg of back-to-back games, 7-1 to the over. The average total is 251.1. The average combined points scored in those games is 251.1. So I mean, I would still, even though it has shifted a lot, I would still kind of look towards that over. Um, any last thoughts on that game, Ski, before we close out?
Nah, team total over. Only ways
Yeah.
to play.
Only ways to play. Got you. All right, let me pull this off. All right, well, quick 4 game slate tomorrow. We did go through a lot right there as far as like stats, trends, and insights and stuff like that. Again, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure after the show you're dropping some comments so that it helps the algorithm. It helps our show continue to grow and get seen. We're here 10 p.m. at night trying to help you guys get early, even though some of these numbers have already shifted. Hopefully, this helps you. And before we close out, Ski, any leans to drop for the folks here?
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat staying up late to cap these games and watch the show. Bitsy says no boutique. I still didn't look up what that means, but no, just a hoodie tonight.
So
Um,
I looked it up because I was very interested. So it's a way of it's almost like kind of a way of screen printing or something like that. So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
okay,
Yeah.
so I guess he wasn't shooting on me.
No, no, he definitely wasn't.
Shout out to Anthony finally making a live show. I know it's tough. He's in Boston, so it's what? It's 2 a.m. Oh no, 1 a.m. A little bit past 1 a.m. over there. Appreciate you staying up late, my guy Guillermo Zertucci. That's my dog. I appreciate you as well. So yeah, just want to show the chat some appreciation. And if you guys like the show, a lot of people saying they like the show, hit the like button for us. Leave a comment. Definitely helps us out. Lets the people at Wager Talk know that we should continue doing the show. So what I'll leave with is if I'm playing one thing right now, I feel most confident in Toronto and Philly over. The pace of play hasn't mattered. The defense has just been so bad for both of those teams. They've been getting 230 plus. So I think right now, best number I see is 225 and a half. I think that's the way to go.
Gotcha. I like that. So I was leaning Raptors, and then you like the over. So maybe I look towards that Raptors team total over. I was also looking at the Knicks team total over. Still leaning the Pistons side on that game. And then the last one, I was leaning towards the over and the Grizzlies still as well. Um, all right. With that said, that's the end of the show, guys. Whether you fade or follow, it is on you to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Until next time. Peace.